Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. I'm doing great.
Good.
Last Friday of the
Wonderful.
year. Great, great. Hopefully, everybody had a great Christmas.
So far, so good.
Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
we can't complain. We're still alive. So, hey,
All right, all right.
How was
So,
yours
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Kingsley.
I said, how was your own Christmas?
Oh, it was good.
Okay.
It was good. So, this is going to be our last cyber chat for the year 2023. I appreciate everybody's time, and we are going to kick off here shortly. We are transmitting on YouTube already. So, for folks who might not be able to join or drop off, you can always join on YouTube, right? And we are discussing a very important and a very big topic that is dear to my heart, right? My talk or PCI this year for the community meeting that we had in Portland and around the world. I think we had one also in Ireland and then another one in was it Singapore? I didn't attend that one, so I probably don't recollect, but they normally do one in Asia and one in Europe and then one in North America, which we did in Portland. And it was pretty much centered around not social engineering per se, but the people aspect of,
Aspect.
people, processes, and technology, right, when it comes to security. So we are going to dig more into it. And there is a very interesting case study that we are going to look at to help us understand what social engineering, as we know it in cybersecurity, is, and the meaning and the history of it and all that. So very, very important and a very one of the very common cybersecurity attacks that is out there. And I know everybody on here has a story about social engineering in one way or the other, right? You might see it as a easy or simple scam, people trying to call you on the phone and pretending to be from IRS, using all shapes and forms of tricks to, get information from you or probably steal from you. So it's a very interesting topic, and I know everybody's going to learn something from this. And, we are a community where, we love to share ideas. So if probably some social engineering attack that is, very innovative that people need to know about, you can also share your experience with the group, right? So we will be kicking off here shortly. Please give me like 2 minutes and we are going to start here shortly. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. We are starting time now. So you're all welcome. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. If you are new to the family, we do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And today is the last edition for 2023. I appreciate everybody's time. We're still in the holidays mood and season. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here to sharing the knowledge. And today we started last week, we gave out sponsorship to, I think, was it 5 or 6 folks? This week, tonight we are still doing the same thing. We will select 5 and give them, that scholarship for them to start in different cohorts for different programs that we are running starting January, right? So tonight's topic, we are looking at social engineering in the context of cybersecurity, right? So you are all welcome. Let's get started. Now, this program is run by Eretmis Academy. Eretmis Academy is a cybersecurity institute based in New York, and we train cybersecurity professionals from absolute beginners to intermediate to advanced level. Anything cybersecurity, we will be able to help you with. We have a variety of courses. If you've not taken any of our free courses, please go to Eretmis Academy's website. We have at least 2 free courses on there. That is very insightful. You can get a lot of info on there if you want to start off in the security space, right? And then also, if you are starting off as an absolute beginner, you want to do career switch to become a cybersecurity professional, our cybersecurity entry-level course is the best program for you to start off with. And if you've also been in the security space, you have some certifications, you are looking for the hands-on or on-the-job training, we have internship/workshop program that we run where we pair you with 2 of our sister companies, and you are going to work on at least 10 major security projects for these companies, and that will count towards your experience in security. And then also these companies, you did work for them, so you can use that on your resume as well, right? And the most important is not just putting something on your resume, but what are you going to do on the job? Can you really do the job when you've been given the chance? And that is what the internship/workshop is going to help you do, right? So internship workshop is also included in the entry-level course as well, right? And we have a standalone program for the internship also as well. And we have PCI DSS training, expert specialist. We have internship also for PCI DSS as well. But a standalone internship for PCI DSS is yet to be outdoor sometime, maybe next week in the New Year's, right? It's been a while, right? But we do that as part of our PCI DSS training. But that's a standalone program on its own. In terms of the internship, we are yet to start that. So you are welcome. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm going to be your facilitator for tonight. As usual, I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm a QSA, PCI QSA, cybersecurity expert, anything cybersecurity. You can count me in. I love to teach, share knowledge with the community. I'm the CEO of Eretmis Inc., cybersecurity consulting firm based out of New York, and a QSA company as well. And I'm the founder of Eretmis Academy, co-founder, founder of Eretmis Academy with my co-founder as well. So you are welcome. Let's get started. So we are running a 35% off for all our training courses at Eretmis Academy. So you can take advantage of that. It ends on the 1st of January. So take advantage of that before that goes away. Because I think the next maybe promotion wouldn't be until sometime February. So if you want to jump onto any of these courses, this is the right time to do so. So, and we are also partners with CompTIA. We are authorized partners with CompTIA. So Eretmis Academy is an authorized CompTIA partner. And what does that mean? We have a discount when it comes to certifications. So you can get a 20% discount if you are part of the community and you want to sit for Security Plus or any of the CompTIA security, security certifications. We will give you that 20%, and all of it goes to you. And so you can at least save some little money on your certification exam, right? And also for what we are doing tonight for Cyber Chat, you can use it for continuous education points. So all the certifications that you write in cybersecurity and other IT certifications, you have to renew them every 3 years. So 2 ways to renew it. You can either sit for the exam again, or you can, prove that you've been continuously improving yourself or studying or learning within the industry. So this is part of it. They take a couple of community members have used Cyber Chat to renew their Security Plus and other certifications. So you can also do so. And this is to let you know, you can also do this for other certifications like CISSP, CISA, and the rest also as well. When the time is, it's time for you to renew it. Now we have a very huge WhatsApp group. We have a WhatsApp channel now. They have a channel, so we have one for Cyber Chat. We pushed it out on the WhatsApp group yesterday, so we will push it out again. You can go ahead and join the channel. So anything Cyber Chat, when we push it out there, you are also going to be in the know. So the channel, unlike the group, you are not going to see it as a feed. But that is going to be an individual something when we post it. You'll be able to see it. So the WhatsApp group, the link will be posted as well. So you'll be able to join if you want to join the WhatsApp group and stay updated with anything and everything cybersecurity. And then we also have a YouTube channel. Everything that we are doing here is being transmitted on our YouTube channel, right? So all Cyber Chats, all the ones that we did the whole entire year is on there. Really good info. You can subscribe, and let the channel grow. That way others will also see the good info that is on there to help them when it comes to security, right? There have been a lot of testimonies about folks who have gone through the channel. They are not even students of Eretmis Academy, and some have even used that to land jobs. Some are using that to help them on the job. So that attests to the fact that we put really good info on there. So please do spread the word, share the channel, and then also subscribe to it. That way, anything that we put on there, and we are able to post like in the community chat. So some announcements and other stuff, we also put it in there as well. Right? So you can join that. Now, before we jump into our topic for tonight, like how we always do, we are going to go through some cyber news for the week, and then some timelines for the courses that we are offering starting January. Our new cybersecurity business owner training will start on the 18th. So the new program, we did the launching of that last week. So a very good program. We are going to show you the steps, step by step, how to build a cybersecurity company from scratch, and how to scale it, not just build it, but scale it. How to be able to land contracts and also do B2B as well, right? So that program is starting on the 18th of January, and we have our new PCI cohort that is starting on the 16th, right? And our new PCI internship program, that is a standalone PCI internship / workshop, is going to start on the 22nd. And then we have our normal cybersecurity internship / workshop is also starting on the 13th, right? So we're really going to be busy in January, right? And I mean, for the rest of the year, like we always do. And for tonight, we are looking at social engineering in the context of cybersecurity. So in the news, again, last week we looked at Google. They've had at least 8 zero-day vulnerabilities discovered this year. Now they are in the news again, and for what? So let's take a look at what is happening. So there's at least a 0-day vulnerability in Google within like the Google space, where with this vulnerability allows attackers to be able to get access to your Google account. And the very frightening part is even when you change your password, they are able to still stay on your account, right? So Google is still, trying to come up with a solution to this. So it is still going to remain a 0-day attack until they're able to fix this, right? So attackers, and this is not really very easy for any attacker to be able to pull this off. It has to be like a hacker who really knows what they are doing, right? Who knows Google really well, who knows the inside operations of Google's internal authentication mechanisms, right? So although it is a serious 0-day vulnerability, but the exploitation of it is not that easy, right? So maybe that is, where we can relax a little bit. but we just have to make sure you have two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication sets on your Google account, right? So I think with that, at least that is going to help to a certain point before Google is able to come up with a solution to this. I'm not sure anybody on here has experienced anything of that nature. Right? Now, the next in the news is Chat GPT. So OpenAI's Chat GPT that probably took the whole IT space by storm in 2023. Some people are using it for good, others are using it for malicious activities. And what do I mean by this? So four Chinese individuals were arrested for what? They've created a ransomware and they created it using ChatGPT, right? They could have used it for anything else to be productive, maybe probably create some software that will be used for good, but they decided to use it to create a ransomware. And they tried using the ransomware to solicit for over $20,000 from unsuspecting victims, and they got caught, right? So they've been arrested, four of them all arrested. So this goes to show you maybe probably the good and bad side of AI. But ChatGPT, they are improving. Maybe probably sometime in January, we are going to revisit ChatGPT in terms of cybersecurity use cases, right? How best you'll be able to use it. Now, ChatGPT is able to access the internet, right? So just a little giveaway, is able to access the internet, is able to do data analysis, data analytics, right? So we will go over some of it, maybe probably early January, and show you some of the use cases. It is getting better and better every day. And some people have decided to use it for malicious reasons, right? If you want to go that route, you're probably going to end up in jail. So use it for good. If you go through that trouble of using ChatGPT to create a software, a malicious software, then why don't you use it to create, a good software, right? A good application that can be used, and you are still going to make money from it, anyways, right? So, and nobody is going to come knocking on your door to arrest you. So that is the last item that we have for our cyber news for this week. Now we are nearing New Year. So in the New Year spirit, we are going to give away at least 20K in scholarships tonight. And the lucky winners will be added to the ones who won last week. So, and for our business program, it is starting on the 18th. So still just to put that out there. And then the programs that we did talk about, also, like the time is going to be in the evenings, just like how we do for all our live classes. And for the cost is $6,000, but then we are doing a 50% off just for the business owner, cybersecurity business owner program until the 1st also as well, right? Now, our PCI class is also on the 16th. Our internship is on the 13th. So now we jump into social engineering. So before we jump into social engineering and everything that goes with social engineering, just to pick the brain, just to pick the thoughts of everybody on here. Now, when we ask questions or we open the floor, please do well and raise your virtual hand, right? That way we are not all speaking on top of each other. So the question that I was going to ask is, how would you feel if you saw in the news that Dr. Edu sold the Statue of Liberty to maybe Kwame, right? You're probably going to be like, get out of here. Who will buy the Statue of Liberty, right? Maybe probably that is what everybody will say, right? What will be your reaction? I know like there's a hand up. Nibichi, if I got your name wrong, please.
I raised my hand before I heard the question, but just the fact that it doesn't seem like it's owned by that person who's trying to sell it. It would sound fishy to me.
Okay.
And I wonder why I want to discuss such a proposition with them.
Okay, so no, if you saw on the news that somebody bought it. So I've seen Christian has his hand up.
Oh,
So
okay.
if probably Christian bought it, you saw it on the news. I sold it to Christian and I've been arrested. Like, what would be your thoughts?
I mean, like you kind of duped him somehow into believing that you had the rights to sell it to him.
Okay, great. Christian, go ahead. What about you?
Yeah, it will sound unbelievable to me. I wouldn't believe somebody would be able to sell the Statue of Liberty to any other person. I would be very surprised if somebody would buy it from an individual.
Okay, Aaron, please go ahead.
I would really wonder what's up with the buyer because he needs to at least do some due diligence.
Okay, great. Kingsley.
Well, the first thing that will go through my mind is whoever sold this should have known where they are going to end, because you know that at the end of the day, they're going to find out that it's a fraud.
Okay, Susanna, please go ahead.
My first thought would be, oh, how? That's it. That would be the only thing. How?
Unbelievable. Teresa, go ahead.
Just to add to what the earlier speaker said, I mean, why will you agree to even buy? And what's the reason why you also did what you did to sell it out? So it wouldn't sync well with me, and I'll be asking many whys. You know, why the buyer bought it and why the seller also did it. So many questions. Yeah.
Okay, so before I move on, Teresa has an announcement to make. I'm just putting her on the spot. I wanted to give her a shout out last week, but totally escaped me. So just to probably gossip a little bit, or Teresa, if you want to, do me the honors and announce it before I say it.
All right. So I got a job for security analyst 2 for vulnerability management for a company. And I think I'll be starting next week. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Teresa.
Well done.
Congratulations. Good
Very
job.
helpful.
Well done,
Thank
Teresa.
you.
Wow.
Big congratulations, Teresa.
Thank you. And what I want to say is that Dr. Drew was really, really helpful. You know, it baffled my mind how he's able to get time for each of us. You know, when the job description came, he took the time to at least give me a breakdown of what the potential questions will be. And with that, I was able to prep more. And so I'm very, very grateful to him for his support. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks for the kind words.
Teresa. Thank you.
All right, Brian, what will be your reaction?
Yeah, when I look at the news and see Dr. Do sold the Statue of Liberty, I would say, man, that guy is one heck of a salesman. I would love to know what he said to that person.
Yeah. Joseph, go ahead.
Yeah, I would be surprised because I trust Dr. Ju. And I'll be wondering why would Dr. Ju go to that extent, and it's all based on trust. Whoever bought it may have trusted you as well.
Great point. Samuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, Doc. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because in this day and age, everything is possible. Everything is possible, and there is nothing like trust. It's always zero trust. You have to always verify before you. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Great input. Appel, please go ahead.
Yeah, Doc, good evening. I wouldn't be surprised to the one who sold it, but to the one who bought it, he's the one where I would be surprised because from where I'm coming from, I know somebody sold a whole sports stadium to someone else, so I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah.
Okay, Felix, go ahead.
Yeah, my question will be simple. How can you sell a national asset which does not belong to you? That'll be what I'll be asking myself.
Okay.
So I'll be surprised.
Okay. Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to verify the authenticity and how it was done.
Okay.
Yes.
Uche.
Yes, Dr. Du. I would say first, yes, I'll be surprised, but then I'll say I know Dr. Du. He's a trustworthy somebody. So what I would do is first verify the information, look for some valid sources before I go running and say he did such and such. Because now I'm wondering, was it really him or somebody else?
All right. Romeo, please go ahead. So Romeo will be the last person to speak, and then we move on. Romeo, go ahead.
Yes, if I can just find the mute button. Sorry. So, if I heard the Eiffel Tower was being sold on the news today, it just brings to mind one of the things I read a while ago in the book 48 Laws of Power, a story of a gentleman called Victor Lustig, who did something similar in the 1800s, and that's the only thing that's gonna, ring a bell in my mind, because I know the Eiffel Tower is an asset to the French government, and I guess that's the only thing that brings that comes to mind.
Okay. So we are going to wrap it up here and move on. What everybody said is good and interesting, right? We are going to learn how somebody will be able to sell probably be in Yankee Stadium or Statue of Liberty to somebody else, and the person buying it, mind you, wouldn't be stupid, right? So if you hear stories like this, you think, I mean, how dumb can you be? But when we dig into social engineering more, you understand why even you yourself, you can, like somebody can convince you to buy anything, right? If you don't have your guard up, they can easily, pull the first one on you. So people who fall victim to social engineering attacks, they are not naive, they are not stupid, because they just didn't know that these are the techniques and tricks that they are using. So that is why we are doing this. So what are we going to be looking at tonight? An overview of social engineering, a case study. We will look at what social engineering is, how it works. That is the most important part, right? The history of social engineering, popular social engineering attacks in the security space, and then types of social engineering attacks that are out there, and how to prevent social engineering, how to prevent yourself from falling victim, you and your family, and your employer also from falling victims to social engineering attacks. So we are going to move into the case study, and what I was asking, how can, if you heard that I sold the Statue of Liberty, what would be your reaction? So I think our last speaker was speaking to the Eiffel Tower, right? So this is the Eiffel Tower for maybe any of us who are not familiar with it. Eiffel Tower is a tower that was made by an engineer in France, and they really didn't have it, like they just made it as a big monument for the country, right? So it was supposed to be an engineering something that kind of like blew everybody's mind. So people went there for tourism and the rest, and we still do, right? So how come somebody was able to buy this Eiffel Tower in today's money? It is probably going to cost around the person who bought it around like almost $1 million, 1.3, $1.4 million. Yeah, about 1.1, but above $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So whoever had $1 million, you think that person is stupid? And this was a businessman who had money. So
He
he's
was too
not
ashamed to tell people though that he was conned. So
of course. So like he was not stupid by any means, right? He just fell for it because he didn't probably, know, or he wasn't exposed to such tricks or social engineering in a whole. But then you also have to look at the other side of the person who sold it. That person is a genius, right? So to be a scammer or to be, a social engineer who is able to pull this off and pull all sort of scams off, those people are smart, but they are just using the smartness for something. So let's jump into it. Now, this is your man right here. He's the one who pulled this off. He's called Victor Lustig, right? So Victor has a history of, being a professional conman, right? And we are going to look at what he used to do before he decided to venture into selling monuments for countries, right? And guess what? He sold this not one time, but twice, right? Not to the same person, anyways, not to the same person, but he sold it twice. So how did he do it, right? How did Victor pull this off? And you can see him in his suit. He was a very well-dressed man, very smart, intelligent man, right? All he did was just, pull such scams off all the time. And, like in that day and age, information was not that common. And information, like you pretty much, I think, like information that you're going to get anything in the social space will be probably on radio or in the news, right? So, but we are going to look at how he was able to pull this off. Now, proud to this, Victor used to, do little scams here and there. Not little, but, but we'll say little compared to like the final one that he pulled. And even after that, he pulled big ones. So this guy, just getting a little bit ahead of myself, he got arrested and he died in jail. And how did that happen? It wasn't because he sold the Eiffel Tower or any of that. He wasn't like he didn't get caught selling the Eiffel Tower, right? He moved back to the States after the Eiffel Tower, stuff, and he started printing money, fake money. He printed it to the point where his fake money was the original money, and the original money, like the original dollars, was fake.
Oh,
that is like that is how good this guy was. So it became a national issue. Right? So they had to find him, arrest him, and like it took them a while to be able to even find him, arrest him, and then put him in jail because he was becoming a big threat. How can you print dollars that your dollars are now the original dollars and the original dollars are right? That is how smart and how much on top of his game this guy was, right? So proud to him moving to France and to pull this off. He used to pull, those scams and pretended to be a Broadway music producer, right? And he will be on cruise ships. So he was on ocean liners and he will be pulling these scams. Like he'll look at wealthy people, approach them. He was also well dressed, wearing expensive stuff, and he will be able to convince them to invest in movies and stuff and just take their money away. And at some point, I think he was even making like money boxes, and he was telling people like his boss could print money, and he'll print money for you right there and there. You see good money, you can spend it, right? And then when he sell the box to you, that is where the problem will start. You wouldn't be able to print a dime, right? And then he like even did that to I think like a police commissioner, to the point where like the police commissioner was able to catch up to him, I think after a year, and almost wanted to shoot him, but he was still able to convince him that he was the one who didn't know how to use it, and gave him, money, pretending that okay, he's paying him back to get his box because he's like he loved his money box, he's going to use it again. And this guy was like, okay, fine, and the guy ended up paying him more money, right? And then he ended up putting him in trouble, and the policeman got arrested because he had, I think, like some drugs or something that he planted on him, right? So this guy was very, smart for the bad reasons. So he was doing the ocean liner, business, until First World War came up. That was around like First World War came up, and there were no, crews because there's a war going on. So what he did was he moved to France. Now, when he moved to France, right now, what we are going through, there are some areas that I'll be hitting on because we'll be looking at them when it comes to some of the techniques that social engineers use. So when he moved to France, right, he chanced on a news article that was discussing the problem that France was facing with the Eiffel Tower. Now, there is a war going on. France is in the middle of it. the Eiffel Tower, has to be maintained. It was in bad condition. So the country was torn between, are we going to use our money to fund the war? And then also we need money to feed the people. Why are we going to use that money to repair the tower? Some people also thought, yeah, this is a national asset, so we have to repair the tower. And they were going back and forth. So the country was divided. Now, this guy saw this as a very good opportunity, right? He saw it in the news, like, okay, he can make something out of this. So that gave him some inspiration to pull up a news camp. And what he did was he did more digging into the Eiffel Tower fight between the country, like the sites that were fighting, and he gathered enough information in the news about different opinions from people in government and just the general population, right? So what he decided to do was to pose as somebody who works for the government. He was posing as a deputy director general for the Ministry of Posts and Telegraph for France, right? So what he did was that he organized a meeting. So he went ahead, he hired or he rented a very expensive hotel, had like a conference room set up for him. He hired people to drive him, to be his assistants, to open doors for him, to even work like in the hotel that the place that he rented, right? And he managed to be able to get himself, uniforms. I mean, I don't I think back in those days, they kind of appeared in a certain way. They were, maybe like a special something for you to see that they actually work in the government, right? So he got everything together really on point. What he did was he organized a meeting for scrap metal dealers, right? He handpicked and selected, he did his research, selected the ones who were very, wealthy and who've been doing this for a while. So he selected them, pulled them to, was able to convince them and get them to this meeting. And then in the meeting, he apparently he was going to disclose some government secret to them. And what was the government secret? The government secret was that people are fighting over the Eiffel Tower back and forth. Now the government has decided to pull down the Eiffel Tower, but this is not in the public space because it's going to cause maybe riot or it's going to cause trouble. So he's in the government. He knows these people, they deal in scrap metals. So he's giving them the inside, scoop. So that way, if you are interested in, and when the government pulls it down, it is all metal, scrap metal. So who is going to buy it? The scrap metal business people. So, and as he was talking to them, he was scanning through and using his human psychology that he was really well vested in, identifying people that he could see had some probably low self-esteem, and there will be people that he can easily convince, right? So after this meeting, I mean, these people, they are rich, they are into this business. The government has decided to pull this up, and he just didn't say it. He had documentation to prove it. Documentation that who made? He made, right? And it had government seal and everything on it. So presented this to them, and then he decided to do one-on-one sessions with all the businessmen, right? To give them some more insights and how the government is going to divide the scrap metal because it's huge, and how they were going to sell it, right? So now, and everything that they were seeing was believable. I mean, the location, the cars he came in, people opening doors for him, everything is set on point. Now he organized a one-on-one, right? And he identified a guy called Poison. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, right? So one of people in the meeting, he identified that probably he could pull this off on this guy because apparently although this guy had money, right? He still didn't feel like he was treated fairly or like he belonged in the good old boy club, right? They all have money, but they were still kind of looking down on him in some way, and that affected his own self-esteem, right? And Lackman was able to Victor pulled that was able to see that because he was well vested in human psychology. So what they did was he brought these people in one after the other, tried to convince them to buy, Now, when it got to the point, like the time that this man came in, Poison, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. He came in, he was able to convince him, right, to a certain point, but then later he saw that he was probably trying to catch up on, or he wasn't really believing everything solely. So then Victor decided to, play his last card. So his last card was that he told him that, hey, so we are selling this, like the government is going to sell it. But for me, I'm a corrupt official, right? I have a wife, I have 2 mistresses, I love going on vacation, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not just going to give you this offer. You have to pay me some bribe, right? You have to bribe me before I even let you buy this. That was what really sold this guy on it. Because he was like, okay, so I mean, if it's not true, why would this guy be asking for bribe in the first place? Like, then it's true. He looks kind of expensive for a government person. So what Victor was able to pull off was this. He just didn't sell the Eiffel Tower to him, but he also made him pay bribe as well, right? And you think this businessman who paid, like in today's money, almost $1.1 million, you think he's stupid? No, he's not, right? So he bought it, paid the money, they did all the paperwork and everything, gave him the paperwork, and guess what Victor did? Moved back to the US, stayed for 3 months, was checking the newspapers to see if anything came up, for this sale. Nothing came up because guess what? If it was you, you'd be so embarrassed. Now, first off, within his peers, this guy has really bad self-esteem because they really look down upon him. And now for them to know that he fell for this scam, which they could have all fell for, but he did. So that will just solidify whatever they are thinking about him, that, I mean, of course, he's going to fall for it. Who else will fall for it? So he didn't mention it to anybody. He just kept it to himself. Right. Now, Victor, on the other hand, was trying to see if there was any smoke. There wasn't. So guess what he did? Came back to France, tried to pull it off again, sell the Eiffel Tower again to another person. I think for the second time, it almost went through, but he was almost, I think they almost, like he was almost caught, because for him, this wasn't the only deals that he, like, this wasn't the only scam that he had going on. He always has some other things going on. So one of them might probably be the one that almost made him to be caught. So guess what he did? Run back to the States. And that is where, when he came back to the States, was when he decided to print money, right? And make the money box and all that. So there's a lot of really fun stories about Victor, but what we are taking from this is that if we go back, right, Victor was really paying attention to human psychology, how people, your self-esteem, how you react, how your fears and all that. And then guess what? When we go back one, was it true that the Eiffel Tower was, like the country was torn between the Eiffel Tower to pull it down, not to pull it down? Was it in the news? Of course. So if there was nothing like that in the news, Victor couldn't have pulled it off. So, I mean, we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves in terms of what scammers are using. But when you use something that is there, anybody can verify. Of course, the Eiffel Tower is there. There's, constantly for the last 2 months, we've been fighting over it in the newspapers. And somebody tells you, hey, the government wants to pull it down. At least, that part of the story is true. It is there. They are fighting over it. So that is what Victor was also, jumped on, because one, it has to be believable. It has to be something that has happened or is happening. So we are going to move on, and we will look at, I just went back just that way. When we get to some of the factors that we are going to look at, it's easy for us to go back to it, or we can just reference because we've gone through the whole entire case study. So Victor's deal was done. He got the money, went back, tried to pull it off, and then he ran away and started a new venture in the States, right? So what is social engineering? Social engineering is not this engineering, right? but it's similar to this engineering. Now there's a hand raised or is down. Okay, Romeo, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry. So social engineering, based on what we know by cybersecurity and the little exercise that we just went through, it's a form of manipulation where individuals use psychological tactics to sort of deceive others into divulging or bringing out confidential information and performing actions as well as compromising security. And this often involves exploiting known human behavior rather than relying on technical vulnerabilities.
Okay, so great point, well made. I think for everybody else, we are just going to hold on a little bit, right? So let's move on. Everybody is going to have the chance to also speak to this. So social engineering, what is it? So social engineering really is just understanding human psychology and using that to manipulate people. Right now, as to what you are manipulating them to do, that is a different story, right? So in security, like in the context of cybersecurity, social engineers or malicious social engineers, they use human psychology. They use different factors that we are going to discuss here shortly to try and get information or try to steal your information, try to steal your money, right? And it's one of the easiest ways that attackers are able to use to get information or to get on networks and to execute a lot of attacks, right? So the act of manipulating people, just like what we saw in the case study, Victor was really well vested in the act of manipulating people. He could read people, right? And he was using things that were believable, that were in the news, things that you can verify, right? And based on that, he will, put his spin on it, right? So there are different types of social engineering attacks that we are going to look at. But social engineering simply malicious people not malicious people, malicious social engineers, they put bits and pieces together as an engineer would do to build. They are able to, do that to make people take actions that they would otherwise not take, right? That is the key word. So have people do things that they would otherwise not do. So social engineering, that is all that is about. Now, when it comes to social engineering, we are looking at, when we look at security in general, I think for everybody who's been with a family for a while, in security, we look at security through three main lenses, right? So security, we are looking at people, processes, and technology. Now, when it comes to people, processes, and technology, social engineering focuses on people. Social engineering attacks, the focus is on people. You cannot trick an application or a machine or a software to do something that they've not been set up to do. You cannot trick purpose, or you cannot make processes take an action, right? People are always the question mark group, right? Because we are curious, we are emotional, we want to know stuff, we want free stuff, we want to take revenge, right? So people are very easy to manipulate out of the three: people, processes, and technology. So social engineering focuses on people, processes, and technology. So the people factor or the human factor in security is the focus of social engineering attacks, right? And like we always say, the human factor is considered to be the weakest link, but also the human factor can be the strongest link, depending on how we look at it or what type of training that we've taken our staff or our human, beings within the setup through, right? So, social engineers, like I said, their main focus is to manipulate right? Manipulate people psychologically, and they will have to use things that are a bit believable, things that will push, like the bottoms of our human character, right? So our weakness, our strengths, things that we like, things that we hate, things that will make us sad, they use all of that. Now, there are some social engineering aspect of this that most people don't even pay attention to. Now, if you're somebody who is charitable, who always like to support, you might also fall for some of these social engineering attacks, because some malicious people will portray that, hey, we are going to this place to do this charity work. You can donate. Sometimes when you donate, that like the money don't even go there, and all those they are preying on your, like your goodness, which is also part of, like your character, to be able to pull that off. So how does it work? How will somebody buy an Eiffel Tower or buy Statue of Liberty in New York? The person selling it, what strategies are they using to be able to convince somebody to really, like, if I was a judge and they brought somebody, they said maybe Christian sold Eiffel Tower to Daniel, right? I'll really look at Christian, well, probably maybe shake his hand. Wow, how did you do it? Because to pull that off, not easy, because everybody knows, obviously, the Eiffel Tower, or everybody knows that Statue of Liberty is not for sale. How are you able to sell it to somebody? That is what we are going to look at. So how are social engineers able to pull off their attacks or pull off the whole social engineering thing? Right now, they have a lot of tricks and tactics that they use, but they can all be categorized into what we are going to be looking at. Right. So one, we have what we call familiarity. They use something that you are familiar with. Now, in the case study that we saw, what was the familiarity in there?
The crisis in the country.
Yes.
The news that was given regarding the Eiffel Tower?
Yes. So everybody was familiar with it, right? So if I'm saying anything on that to you, or I'm trying to, scam you using that, it's believable, because we all know this is what is going on, right? So familiarity is what attackers, one of the tricks that they use, because something that everybody knows is happening, everybody knows is going on, right? Now, sense of urgency. How do you think sense of urgency played into this? Susanna, go ahead. Yes, go ahead,
Hello?
Susanna. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. He made it look urgent that they were going to scrap it, and if they did not react on time, they will not be part of it. So everybody, he made it look like it was a good deal, and
yeah, so
I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, probably he told them, hey, there's a time frame, right? Before the government makes it public that we're going to pull it down. When it becomes public, then everybody can bid for it, right? So you have this, short time frame. If you don't really take action within the next week, probably, or maybe probably within the next 3 days, we are going to give it to somebody else, or it's going to be public knowledge, and then your chances of getting it at that good price will go away, right? So sense of urgency. So if anybody calls you and they're on your neck, they are from IRS, you are owing the money and you have to make some payment today, then you should know that maybe it's one of these tricks that you are trying to pull on. And okay, so the next thing is exclusivity. They will make it look like, so that is why he selected a group, not everybody, a group that he handpicked. And he will let you know that this is an exclusive deal for you or for this group. So outside this group, it's not going to be given to anybody. So these are, some of the, like the checklist that they go through. And then also they make you feel good and lucky and special, right? This is only for you, Susanna. You are the like we handpicked you that you've won like whatever prize for whatever lottery that you didn't stake, right?
Yeah.
And authority. So with Victor, what can you say about authority? Like what was he using for authority? Abdul, please go ahead.
He was using, he was posing as a government official. How he hired people at the hotel rooms, limousines, made it appear as though he was official.
Yes. So anybody from the government, I mean, if somebody is wearing a police uniform and he's driving a police car and he pulls you over, are you going to stop or not?
Yes.
Of course, you are going to stop because that is the police.
Yes.
How would you know he's just posing? Right. So authority. They are if I just randomly call you and I tell you, hey, Teresa, give me your social security number, you can be like, hell no, right? But if I'm like, oh, I'm calling from the IRS, is this Teresa? Yes. Okay. So we've realized that there's a problem with your taxes you filed last year. Can you confirm your social security number? Right now, because you had IRS, that is authority, right? That also borders on familiarity. Of course, you did file your taxes, right? And then I'm asking you, hey, you are owing some money. So now I'm playing on your emotion. At IRS, I want money. What? Everybody will be like at the edge of their seats, right? And that is how I get you. So you are not even thinking that, why am I confirming my social security to IRS? Like, don't they have that already? Right? But because I said you owe money and IRS and you are like in that mood, you just want to get it off and really get to the bottom of what I'm trying to tell you. And that is how they pull most of these scams off. Now, mention of recent events is also another one. So recent events, social events, that also ties into familiarity. Right? And they are going to tailor the scenario to fit your situation. So he didn't try to sell the Eiffel Tower to people who sold shoes or people who worked in the bakery or who owned like coffee shop, right? He's going to sell it to people who work within that space. And you might think, but those people know better, right? They work in that space. They should know. They are the ones that you can easily get also as well because they work in that space. Now they capitalize on your fears and your insecurities. In this situation, what happened to, was it Poisson? I'm not sure if anybody French speaking here.
Poisson.
Go on. Like what
It's
happened to
poisson.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So
And it means fish actually in French.
fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then that
Poisson.
guy was a fish. Not
He was
really.
a mogul too.
Not really. I mean, for like a businessman of that level to have that money, he was not, dumb by any means, but he just fell for this scam. Right now, he was playing on his fears and insecurities. Right. So just like the example that I gave with IRS, nobody wants to hear IRS. Nobody. You hear IRS or you have a letter in the mail and it says IRS, then your heart is like, what? IRS what? Right? Like you want to see what is going on because the moment you hear IRS, we've been programmed IRS just coming for your money. Or they have a problem with your taxes or something, right? And nobody wants to deal with that. So the moment you see that, your heart starts to, run. So that is playing on your fears and your insecurities, right? Now they will present opportunities that are too good to be true. So probably this guy was thinking about how he was going to flip this and make maybe probably $10 million because they deal with scrap metal. So he knows the cost for what he was buying. How he was going to sell it was going to be way more than what he was investing in it. Right. So really good offer. And it was being given to him in an exclusive way. So he didn't really think about it, but the offer was too good to be true. Right. Now pretend to advise you against scams using similar strategies. So yes, they will be the first to tell you about different scams and how the world is full of evil people now. So you have to be careful. But then they are the ones who are scamming you at the same time. Now, a similar thing is what Victor did. So when he saw that this guy wasn't really, probably had a little bit of doubt, that was where he, brought in like his big gun and told him, of course, I know you might have some reservations, but even this is not all the money you're going to pay. You have to pay me some extra money on the side before I even agree to sell it to you. And that made it more believable, right? So another twist to that is to advise you that, no, you have to be careful. People can use this to scam you, but it's the same thing that they are trying to, right? So if for social engineering, for social engineers, for every social engineering scam that they are trying to pull off, at least multiple of these will be in there. So if you go through, multiple of these will be in there, right? You will be able to check out most of these. So for us, when we want to protect ourselves, we also have to, be very much aware of this. So anything that is pressurizing you to take action now, take action, don't, right? They are going to use something familiar, something that you are familiar with, to make it, a really good offer. They'll pose to be from an authority or from somewhere, something that right? Maybe from your church, from, like something, if probably you just went to, or like you just took Uber and you got out of the Uber, they probably gave you a call and the call ID was Uber, right? And they were like, hey, the Uber driver said you slapped him on his head. So we are filing charges against you. I'm like, what? I slapped him on. See, like what they just did. Of course, you took the Uber, right? Now they are playing on your fears. You slapped him, so they are calling the police, but they wanted to do that, give you that courtesy of calling you first to know what happened, right? And now you are playing along because you are so worried. I mean, like, what did I didn't slap anybody. I mean, what are you guys talking about? Okay, then we're going to go ahead and file the charges. No, wait. So, like, what is the way? Okay, the way forward. Let's look into your Uber account and see your record to see if you've been of good behavior. So give us your account number, or like give us like your password or something, or we are sending you a PIN. Give us the PIN back, and we will be able to handle this. Right? See how they just played on your insecurities or on your fears. So you are not even thinking, because if they didn't start with that and they just said, hey, they just call you randomly with any number and they said, we are sending you a PIN, give us your PIN. You're not going to mind them. But if you see a call ID from Uber, which obviously is not from Uber, and they are making up some allegations or something, then now they have you in that mindset. So you are anxious in that state. So you really don't think through things. And that is how they get you, right? So these are some of the ways, not all of it, but by a broad category, almost all of it, right? How they are able to execute this and how it is able to work effectively. Right? So we are going to move on into the history of social engineering. How did it start? Where did we even get the word social engineering from? So social engineering, when the word was coined, it wasn't for bad, right? It was a German industrialist. Now, this guy, if you do management, you probably run into him, Van McKean. So he came up with the word social engineering, and the intent of the social engineering was to really expose the side of soft skills that we have to learn on the job, right? So because in that era, people were just focused on industrialization, how machines worked, and just technicality. But he wanted us to also focus on the soft skills aspect, how to deal with people, human psychology, and all that. That is how he came about with the word social engineering, how you interact with people. So that is what he came up with. And now I think there was also some follow-up study or like a paper by Edward L. Ebbs, is it Ebbs, or maybe whatever that surname, however you pronounce that surname. He was also he also came up, or he did more work when it came to, you know, the social engineering concept, and he wanted us to really how we did our technical stuff on the job in the industrial machinery area, to really use that to relate to people, to, you know, focus on human relations and social interactions as well. Now, in our modern day, and in security in particular, social engineering, the focus is on how to manipulate people to scam them, right? So social engineering has become, it has moved from good to bad, pretty much. So now it refers to the practice of deceiving or scamming people, based on what these two people who kind of came up initially with social engineering concepts, based on what, like based on the knowledge and skill of human psychology and how people behave within the social space. Now, that is the same thing that we are using to scam people, right? Which is a bit unfortunate, and social engineering has been around for a long time, right? That's been is as old as time, right? So it's not something that is new today. Maybe probably the term social engineering was coined 18 something, but now, you know, it has taken a different twist. So that is the history about social engineering. Now, what are some of the popular social engineering attacks that we have to pay attention to? So we are also going to look at some case studies in real time, in recent time, how social engineering was used to attack some of these companies. Now, if you go back to YouTube and you look at our incident response cyber chat, we touched on a couple of these case studies. So we are going to run through them really pretty quick, right? And we will, you know, move into how we will be able to prevent this from happening. Now, so the first one is Target. I mean, obviously, Target has become a big target for case studies when it comes to incidents, right? So Target, we all know Target has experienced a bunch of cyber breaches over the years. Now, the one that we talked about during last cyber chat about incident response, whereby, and this also bordered on PCI DSS also, right? So how the whole, you know, how attackers were able to get onto Target's network was through social engineering, right? So they couldn't attack Target directly by trying to breach their network. They attacked it through a third-party company that Target was working with. And how they did that was they sent a phishing email, and somebody within that company clicked on it that allowed them access into that company's network. And then that company, because they were working with Target, they also had access to Target's network, and they were able to jump onto Target's network, right? So social engineering attack is no joke, and it's the easiest that attackers can use to get onto your network. So to be able to pull this off, you don't have to be a sophisticated hacker. I can just show you a demonstration of how to just come up with simple social engineering attacks, and you'll be able to pull it off in 5 minutes, and it's going to work, right? So that is what they did, and they were able to get onto Target's network. So the second one is Yahoo. Similar incident. They sent an attack. So 2013, 2014, they experienced cyber data breach. And the same thing, they sent an email in the form of a phishing attack, and they fell for it, right? Somebody within that space clicked on it, and that is how they were able to breach Yahoo. Now, this is a pretty interesting one. So this guy here, I don't know how old he is now, a 15-year-old Kane, he was able to take control over the email account of the then CIA boss, John Brennan, right? Pretty funny. And guess what he also did? I think he was able to impersonate him and even take money from his bank account, right? But he was able to take over his email account by convincing. So what he did was he used social engineering to convince Verizon to provide personal details of the CIA boss, and he posed to be the son of the CIA boss, right? And now he was able to take over CIA boss's email, and like what is in CIA boss's email? A bunch of classified emails and classified information, right? And I think he got in trouble. Probably was sentenced. I think he was sentenced. I don't know how long he was sentenced for, but probably now he's a grown man, so he's not going to do that. Now, let's look at types of social engineering. And this is a true story. So, because I was just thinking about this, and I remembered when I was in station in South Korea, there was a guy who was getting kicked out of the army, right? I think I don't remember his name, but he was a private. He was being kicked out of the army because he was getting in. He just couldn't stay out of trouble. Now, guess what he did? Like the last thing he did before they kicked him out, he, for some reason, I don't know how he did it, but he managed to get the bank details of one of our first sergeants, his first sergeant, right? Like his senior sergeant who's in charge of the whole company. He was able, I think it was even like the sergeant major, not the first sergeant. And he was able to call his bank and he transferred money from the sergeant major's bank to his account to spend that money. Don't know how he pulled it off, but he did it and he got caught, right? So that was probably like last round. They are like, okay, you know what, you are done. We are just kicking you out regardless. I think there is a hand up. Not Isaiah. Faisal.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Faisal is the name.
Yes,
So,
yes, go ahead.
types of social engineering, you have the quid pro quo, where people will ask you to give them something and in return you give them something else. You could be giving sensitive information about a company.
Okay. So we are going to look at like the different types also as but that is part of it. Thank you. So now for the types of social engineering attacks, the very common one, very, very common one that everybody in your emails, you have like a whole flood of it, right? Is phishing. So now this is a question for, okay, let me lower everybody's. So this is a question for the scholarship. Who can tell me the history of phishing and how the name phishing came up? Christian, please go ahead. Just first two people, and that'll be it. So anybody who is looking it up online, you're not going to get it. Go ahead, Christian.
Prof, pass it on. The next person can take it.
Okay. So next person is Olan. Olan, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Olan. You are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The little I know about phishing, I knew it started in 2001. However, perhaps in 2003, it gets much more attention. I think then some company like eBay were victim of it or something like that. That's just the few thing I think I could remember about it.
Okay, not quite.
2001 or 2004 or something like that.
No, I'm not really necessarily looking for like when exactly it started in terms of dates because it's been around for a while.
Okay.
So we'll move on to Vicky. Go ahead, Vicky.
Okay. Phishing is I think it came around 1990s by a group of hackers that used AOL. That's what I knew. They use the algorithm to do that. So it started in 1990s, I think. But
Okay.
phishing, they will send a group of link to people, and then they will click on it. And that's how phishing is done. And
Okay.
if they are targeting the big guys, then it becomes targeted phishing, it becomes whaling or different kinds of phishing. That's what I know about it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, not quite Olan and Vicky, not quite exactly what I was looking for, but up till now, I think everybody has looked it up. So, but even still, if you have to go through individually, exactly what I'm looking for, I doubt if you're going to see that.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Wait.
I think it's the
I
nature of
raised my
how
hand
the thing is being done. Because it's more like normal fishing, how you put in a hook into the water or whatever just to get a fish or something like that. So it's more like these people throwing out a lot of emails out there. Automatically talks about how fishing is being done and all that. If I'm
Okay.
right.
Yeah. So the concept is
I
right,
could say something.
but I was looking for the history. So please hold one. We are going to move on and then wrap it up, and then we open the floor. We'll do some more discussions. All right. So fishing, like last speaker said, the word fishing, they are mimicking fishing, actually fishing, going into the creek or going into the stream to fish, right? Like that is what the word fishing is mimicking, right? But now it is not FIS, is PH, right? To make it different from the FIS. And what I was asking for was how did the PH, how did they take out the FI and put PH? Like, there's a history behind it. Maybe that is going to be an assignment for everybody. Now, so fishing is throwing out or trying to catch a fish in the ocean or in whatever type of water body that they find themselves. So guess who is the fish? Everybody here, us, we are the fish that they are trying to catch. Right now, depending on what type of fish we are, will also like the name will change. So like Vicky was, speaking to, if they catch a bigger fish than the regular little fish, then it becomes, if they catch a bigger fish, we call that bigger fish whale. So it becomes whaling, right? So it's very interesting how they have this group and all that. But if you understand like the concept behind it, then it becomes a bit more easier for you to understand. So phishing attacks, what attackers do is they send random emails to everybody. You won the lottery, you can get a loan, anything. So they send it out randomly to everybody with the hope that somebody is going to click on it. And once you click on it, like depending on what they want you to do, so the email can be anything. They can be offering you free food, free services, a free download of a software, or they can be telling you that you've won the lottery, click here or something, right? Or there's some money somewhere, they want to team up with you to go get it. It can be anything. Sometimes just clicking on it, that's all that they need. You are granting them access to your system. Right? Sometimes when you click on it, you have to input your information and others. Right? So phishing is one of the biggest and one of the most effective social engineering attacks that are out there. Now, there are different types of phishing. So if they are calling you on the phone and pretending to be from IRS, or I think we've had some incidents in the Eretmis community, right, where some malicious people on WhatsApp will pick people's number and then they'll call them behind the scenes and tell them, hey, Eretmis is organizing a prayer meeting. And I don't know where they come up with that. So we are sending you a pin. Send us back the pin, and we will kind of put you down as you are going to show up, right? And they use that to take over your WhatsApp. So first off, Eretmis is not a church. We don't hold prayer meetings. So, but because they said Eretmis, people will fall. And frankly, somebody has fallen. I know one person who fell for it. And then later, when they took over his WhatsApp, was when he called and he was asking, somebody did this. I'm like, okay, so you could have called before you played along, right? And why did you even fall for a prayer meeting? Oh, I thought maybe we are organizing, we want to pray and pray. Like, how long have you been in the Eretmis family, and how many times have we organized prayer meetings at night? Zero, right? So it is not new. We have all also like experienced this. So, and if it is on the phone, if they are calling you over the phone, it is no more phishing. We call it vision. VI, now the PH becomes V, right? If it is from through text message or SMS, it becomes SM instead of PH, so smishing, right? And I have different variants of that also as well. So for anybody on here who has taken security certifications or who wants to take security certifications, knowing your social engineering, different types of social engineering attacks, you are going to get some free 10 points or 20 points, because a lot of questions will, at least you get at least 10 questions on these. Now, baiting is also one. So they will entice you with something. Hey, there's a free software, click on it. A free music, you click on it, and then free movie, download it for free. You are not downloading it for free. You are, installing other things that you don't even know you are doing. Pre-testing. So if you are impersonating or you are posing to be somebody else, you are not. That is also part of there's part of some of the social engineering tricks that attackers are using, right? And that is going to only get you in trouble. Tailgating. Almost everybody here has experienced this, right? You are getting into a building, an apartment complex, into an office space, and as soon as you open the door, like the door is locked, you open it with your card, with a pin, or with a key. When you open it, somebody just follows you, in. And mostly, because we are all courteous, you are not going to say no, wait and let the door close and then try and get in on your own merit. We are all going to allow that, right? And sometimes they even pretend they are busy. They'll be holding things in their hand. So you are even going to be the one opening the door for them to get in, right? That is all form of, that is also a form of social engineering attack. We call it tailgating. So if they are following you into, and sometimes also piggybacking, following you into spaces or areas that otherwise they wouldn't have access to. That is one of the physical forms of social engineering attacks, right? And there's another one, shoulder surfing. I don't think we have that in this list, but that is in office space. If somebody is standing over your shoulder and overlooking and trying to see what you're doing on your computer. And quick proco is what I think, I don't remember who spoke to. So if you do this, I'll do that for you. It's also part of social engineering attacks. Now, reverse social engineering is where the attacker tries to convince you that there's a problem and they are the only ones who can solve it for you. Or they are even trying to make you believe somebody is trying to scam you. So they are the ones who are like the good people who wants to help you to stay on the right side of the scam, right? So I think there is a whole list of other social engineering attacks that we didn't look at because of time. Now, how do we prevent ourselves from social engineering attacks, right? What are some of the ways that we'll be able to prevent ourselves from phishing, smishing, and all sort of the different variants of phishing? So how we can do this, first thing is don't play along unsolicited phone calls, text messages, emails, right? If you have a text message, if you have an email that is from your bank, is from PayPal, is from whoever, go directly to the source. So if it's from your PayPal account, there is a problem with your PayPal account, log into PayPal. If there's a problem, they will indicate it in the notification, right? So if you don't play along unsolicited phishing and smishing and all sorts of phishing attacks, that is one way to stay out of, the sight of attackers, right? But if you
Can
play
I add
along,
something?
yes, here shortly.
Sorry. Okay.
Let's wrap it up, and then you'll be able to chime in. So now, if you don't play along, then obviously they wouldn't be able to get you. Now, don't be surprised when attackers are calling you and they're giving you more information about yourself in terms of where you live and your address, and don't believe all that. Most of this information they can easily find without you even being aware, because today, because of social media, people are on Facebook, You can go through and see their kids, their wife's name, you know, if it's a woman, like their husband's name, where they live, where they went to school, all that. So somebody can call and say, hey, you know, you remember me, Alice, from high school? Oh, you don't remember we were at this high school together? And now you are forced to believe you were in school with some Alice, which you were not, right? And you are wondering, okay, if she doesn't know me, how did she get to know that? And some people even have their numbers on Facebook, and their number is open, is not, you know, private, right? So it's very easy for people to gather information about you. So if they call with some information, don't, you know, assume they know you or you are the one who don't remember them. They probably don't, right? So one of the easiest ways, don't play along, right? Calls that you don't know, don't play along. If anything that they'll try to use any of these, you know, lists that we went through. So if they call it, and now with caller IDs, people can easily change their caller IDs. I can call you, and right now it's your caller ID will be from Bank of America, right? I can change my caller ID and make it Bank of America. I can change it and make it from Uber. I can change it and make it from anywhere or anybody else, right? So if they are trying to play that authority aspect of it, please don't play along. It is all made up, right? So, and anything authority-wise, go to the source. You owe IRS money. Okay, thank you. I'll call IRS. Go to IRS website, you know, pick their number and give them a call, right? So, because we know everything that we know now, because you went through this session, I think we are in a better place than, you know, somebody else who doesn't know. And then also free downloads. So free downloads, free software, free movie, they all come with problems, because when you download it, you're also downloading some malicious software as well. And that is what they are going to use to, you know, attack you, or they are going to use that to have access to your system. So with that, we are going to move on into questions, and then we will pick our winners for tonight, and we will be on a happy way to a very good weekend waiting for the New Year's. So questions for the group as we are moving along. I think there are some hands raised. So please go ahead. Who wanted to speak first? I think somebody wanted to
I
add
did.
something.
I wanted
Okay,
to speak
go ahead.
first while you were asking the questions around the types
Yeah, please
of
go ahead.
children. So you asked a question that you made homework, like why the PH instead of the F. So I found out. So this is me answering the homework question. So previously, hackers were known as freaks. So, you know, in order to, you know, put what they're doing in a better way, like instead of calling them freaks, they made it instead of calling it like instead of calling them freaks like outright, they called what they were doing phishing, because they were actually, you know, like you said, we're all fishes, and they're using us in every which way they wanted. And the word was first used in January 2nd of 1996 in a group called AOL Hell, because this all started with AOL phishing.
Okay, great. So you probably solved the homework question for everybody. Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right, Romeo, please go ahead.
Oh, sorry, apologies. This was from earlier. Sorry.
From earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me just lower everybody's. Right. So now if you have a question or input, you can go ahead. Jason, go ahead.
Okay, to add to that point, so there was a majority company around the 40s. So when they found out they were using signals, a student and a couple and another person found that they could simply replicate the signal and get free calls long distance and even overseas. Because the word freaks and phone had the same PH sound, they decided to call themselves freaks, replacing the F with the PH. Okay. After that, Then in around when AOL came on, I think there was an article in about 1994 where, let me see the name, 1994, and that was when it came out. AOL held a hacking tool. So it was in the Usenet news group. So when AOL tried to defend themselves against the fake credit card numbers that were used to open the accounts, the hacker created that. The teenager's name was Zachronic, and he launched the phishing attacks on the AOL portal.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. And I think who else is after Jason? Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to make a contribution on how I prevent phishing attack. For me, I use scanning tools like Virus Total and a paid tool like Itenza, to scan these links for vulnerability check. So like even last week, somebody sent me a link via WhatsApp. So I normally scan them once they pass the test before I can open the link. Because no matter somebody that is an attacker, they can post like your colleague or somebody that is trusted, and they can send that link to you. And if you don't scan it, you can fall for them. So that's how I prevent phishing attack.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. And next after Frank is Kingsley. Kingsley, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Adu. There are a few things I had down before. Number one, I reached out to somebody on social media. I've not seen this guy for over 10 years. I reached out to him and he asked me a question. He said, "Where do you know me?" And I was upset when he asked me that question. Well, he said, "Just answer the question." So I told him precisely where we met. And he's like, "Okay, now we can talk." So we got talking and he told me the reason he asked is because he wants to be able to establish who he's talking to. Because anybody can go on social media and reach out to you and say, "Hey, I know you," and then give out all your information. So that's how, when somebody reach out to me on social media, that's the first thing I ask them. I want to know precisely. There are certain things that if you don't know me that deep, you can't tell me where exactly we met. So that's one of my safeguards. The other thing I was going to say about social engineering is most people who successfully scam people using social engineering sell what we call greed. It's those who are willing to buy greed that fall. I remember we talked in this class one time when somebody's selling a full stack cybersecurity training for $200 and you're buying it, you're paying the $200. You should know that's a scam. They're going to sell you air, like Dr. Adu always say. So let's be careful with greed when it's too good to be true. Check before you fall into it. And then the last thing was I was going to ask a question with regards to tricking the system. When we talked about people, processes, and technology, we said one of the things that it can easily trick is the people. But my question is, with AI, is it not possible to trick the system?
So I will leave that to everybody to give their take. I mean, whoever wants to answer that next, and then I'll add my take to it. So we'll go to, with that question, we'll go to Teresa.
Can I hear the question again, please?
Oh, no, not the question. I mean, like you can go about your own comments, and then whoever wants to answer Kingsley's question can go ahead and. Okay, go ahead, Teresa.
Just wanted to share my thoughts on more thoughts on how to prevent social engineering. We talked about people being the weakest and causing all this to happen, but also system-wise, just so that we can help the people part. As a company, we can also implement multi-factor authentication, ensuring that passwords are rotated, and when pop-ups come for updates, just don't ignore. That way the system is more secured. And also on the people part too, we can also focus on training people to identify these phishing scams. And with the people being the weakest, really the strongest thing that we can do to prevent these social engineering attacks will be to train the workforce so that they can identify these scams when they pop up. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Olan, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to share my own experience too. I could remember sometimes last month, I was far away my domain and I tried to buy gas. Immediately I finished buying the gas, I just received a call, apparently from my bank, that they want to authenticate, they want to confirm if I'm the one that purchased something on my card. So I was like, and the person now asked my last 4 digits. I was like, I can't give you my last 4 digits. How am I sure you are calling from the bank?
Mm-hmm.
If I have any question, I should be the one to call you. He said, no, yes, I understand this and that. I said, I'm sorry. I understand and I appreciate your concern, but I'm not ready to give you any of my information. He said, yes, we just want to be sure that your card is safe. Nobody is using it. I said, okay, even if that be the case, let me call and dispute the transaction if I'm questioning that. After like 3, 4, 5 minutes on call, I just tell him, sir, I'm on wheel, I can't talk much. And he cut off the phone. So I had to call the bank myself. That this is the call. Yes, I could give you because, yes, I know the number I'm calling. I'm the one calling you. No, you are not calling me. This is what I received. The guy checked through his whatever. I said, well, unfortunately, I didn't see anyone pulling the call through from our side. He said, are you sure you didn't give any information out? I said, I did not. He said, oh, thank you. That means you are security conscious. I said, well, I'm trying to be. So that was how we ended the call. So just to say that we should not, as you always say, we should not just let our guards down. We should just be on an alert. Then one other thing I want to add is the fact that using free Wi-Fi could also be a danger in this topic we are discussing. So that in all things we should be at alert. That's just what I want to add, sir.
Thank you, Olan. I think next we will go to Lena.
Yes. Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to share a story. My reason for getting into cybersecurity, or what got me interested in cybersecurity, was during the pandemic, my identity was stolen. I was furloughed from my job, and someone called me. It was a phishing call, and they called impersonating someone from unemployment. And I gave them more information than they should have had, and they were able to gain access to my unemployment claim, and it made things pretty difficult for me for about 6 months because my account was locked and they were taking what was rightfully mine and it was going to them. And it took the unemployment office in the state of Colorado forever to fully investigate and find out exactly what went wrong. But it was because of that, that's how I got interested in cybersecurity. And I always include that in my cover letters that I send out when I'm applying for jobs. But yeah, I'm more security conscious now and very careful about giving out certain information. I can easily spot or more easily spot a phishing call or a phishing email or any kind of social engineering attack that is coming my way. So
okay, thank you.
It's helped a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Vicky, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to also add that as we are doing and looking for jobs and putting our resumes out there, that another form that these attackers are looking into is going to your resume, your CVs in online and getting your emails and then their phone numbers. Some go as far as putting their date of birth and the whole 9-yard address. So I was told that it's better to put your resume online without those personal details. And when your employer wants to more details and reach out to you, then you can also provide that. And that's just what happened to me recently, because some people will call and you think that they know you so deep, but they are getting your information from what you put online yourself. So we try to avoid putting a lot online. That's just what I want to add.
Okay. Thank you, Vicky.
Welcome.
I think next after Vicky is going to be Frank. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to speak on the AI issue. Although there's no cases have been reported yet, but I think it's possible because AI is machine learning, able to learn from a system and perform the action. So over time, I believe it will get to that point whereby the AI or the machine learning algorithm will be able to learn how the system acts and trick the system. Just like we have deep fake today, and so it's very possible in the near future, but it hasn't been reported. It can be possible to happen.
Okay. So thank you, Frank. Now what we are going to do is we are going to select our winners before we give the floor again. Now, what we are going to do today, we've not done before. We are going to break the whole entire group. We currently now we are 90 on here, 90 participants. We are going to break the 90 into 18 breakout rooms. So once we break out, you are going to find yourself automatically assigned by Zoom into different rooms. Now, one room is going to be picked, and everybody in that room, all of you are going to be the winners. Fair? Right? So we are okay. So assigned automatically.
Oh,
we
no.
are going to say that again, please. So hold on tight.
Can you repeat that, doctor? Can you repeat that?
Okay. So what I said is we are going to choose the winners, 5 winners for tonight, right? And the 5 winners, we are 90 on here. Zoom can break us out into different groups, right? So we have selected, we are going to break ourselves into 18 groups. 18 groups will be groups of 4 to 5. Now, one group will be chosen, and that group is going to be, everybody in that group will be the winner, right? So keep your fingers crossed.
Wow, this is serious.
We are going to break out time now, and then we are going to come back again, everybody again. So hold on tight, and hopefully your group gets selected. So we are breaking out time now. Okay, rooms have been open all rooms. Everybody will be in a room, and we are all going out into different rooms, right? So please click and join your room. Or if you are still on here and you didn't join a room, please go ahead and you see that on your screen. Join your room.
I can't see where to join you.
Oh, like it's supposed to pop up randomly on your screen, so you should be able to see and join you.
Hi, I was watching on YouTube and I had to switch over.
Oh,
So on
okay.
my screen it says host has open breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned.
Okay, so you didn't get a room yet? Wait, let's.
No.
Everybody should have a room. Hold on. Okay, everybody should have a room now. There are still some folks on here. Who didn't join their room yet? Okay, you're assigned to. All right. Well, I think we are almost.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, we're back.
Are you able to join your room?
Yes, I joined my room already. Room 9.
Okay. All right. So stay in your rooms. We'll break out from the rooms here shortly.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to go back to my room.
No, like you don't have to do anything.
Okay, I'll just mute. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hi, Dr. Edu. It's Roland. I went to my room, but it looks like my colleague is muted, so I had to just come back.
No, you can stay in your room. But you know your room already, right?
Well, I'm out now, so kind of
Okay. We have that. So what we are doing is compiling the list of everybody in the rooms. So just take notice of whoever is in your room. So if your room gets called, then everybody in there wins. Okay. All right, I think we should be good now. All right, our rooms are going to be closed. All right, so I think we should have everybody back now. Everybody knows their room number?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
I think we're missing 2.
Oh, you are
There's
missing 2
88.
people?
Yeah, I know my
No, I
room.
said we're missing 2. There's 88 here. We're 90 when we left.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't something.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Will.
So, Doc, I got a quick question.
Right.
I would like to know if the discount for the enrollment.
Listen. I got it, but you know. All right, I think I have to mute everybody. Please go ahead. Yes, the question that was being asked, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say I would like to know the discount for the enrollment. Does
Yes.
it apply to installments too?
No, it doesn't apply to installment payments.
Oh, okay.
It's only for, yes, it applies to only one-time payments.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Anybody's birthday today?
Yes, it's
The
mine.
last week was it yours?
Yes.
Dr. I'm December 5.
Sorry, but
It's my wife's birthday too.
Oh no, not my wife.
okay, no
worries.
birthday, no birthdays.
Dr. Dudu, December birthday.
This is my
My
ex-wife's
daughter,
birthday.
I am December 5.
Me too.
All right. So, like I was looking for today. Today is at 29th. Okay. So the room that is going to be the winner for tonight. All fingers crossed. Randomly. Captain is Captain AJ on here?
Yeah, I saw him in my room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the room that is going to win tonight, I mean, since everybody knows, like, since you all know your room, if you didn't know, then we're going to vote on some numbers. But since everybody's going to vote for their room, so it's like that is not going to work. Now, the room that is going to win for tonight is room 12.
That was close.
But
Yes.
Doctor, I thought it was about participation, not,
I mean, like for
randomness.
awards, we just
Yeah.
randomly choose, right? So there are some days showing up early, for the most part, will get you in. There are some days participation will get you in. But tonight, it was something different for we've not done this for the entire year. So room 12.
I think I did both of those,
Congrats, congrats.
hoping. Yeah.
So room 12, everybody in room 12, you should know yourselves. Amma, Eric didn't join, but Amma, Eric, Romeo, Sabrina, and Samuel Drew. Right.
Congratulations, guys.
Everybody in
Odro,
room 12.
Odro me or
No, not Odro. Kwame.
Samuel.
Samuel Drew.
Kwame, not you.
I also have S in my name. Oh.
No, so it's not.
No, there's no S
it's
in
not
your name.
Reverend
It's Kwame.
Right. So
Congratulations, guys.
room 12.
Congratulations.
Who's the winner tonight?
Congratulations.
I appreciate everybody's time. It's almost 9. We are wrapping up for the year. I really cannot express how much I appreciate everybody on here and the knowledge that you always bring to share with the family. We are continuing, like we will continue to bring out more topics, and you are also invited to send us topics that you want us to treat during Cyber Chat. Right. So we appreciate everybody's time. Have a wonderful
Dr.
New Year
Ade, please,
celebration.
just a quick one before you
Hold
go.
on, please.
Please, what's the difference in the internship workshop and the? I know there is one in the cybersecurity internship workshop. There is another one that stands alone. I think that is
cybersecurity internship / workshop.
Yes, and there is another one that stands alone too.
So Olam internship for PCI is different from.
No, I'm talking of the cybersecurity, not the PCI now.
Okay, so the entry level internship is the same one that stands alone. So if you go through entry level, you don't have to enroll in the one that is standalone. It is all one of the same.
I think he's talking about the hands-on training.
The hands-on training.
Like, hands-on training is standing alone, and the workshop and internship also stand. Those are together. So what's the difference?
No, they are not together. So with the hands-on training, we take you through. It's just tools. You just go through how to use some of the popular cybersecurity tools like Nexus, Splunk, Qualys, and the rest. Right? It's just tools, taking you through tools and also exposing you to Linux, how to move in the Linux environment and the rest. Right? How to analyze scans and others. Right? How the internship looks at actually doing the job. Right?
Okay, sir.
Quick question, Dr. Du. I'm just asking. Eric didn't show up. Can I volunteer to take his spot? This one just ask.
Oh, who didn't show up?
Eric, because you mentioned there was one Eric in room 12 who didn't show up. So can I volunteer?
No, like he didn't join his group. Like he didn't join his group, but he was on here.
Hello, Doc.
Yes.
Hello, Doc.
Okay. Yes, go ahead,
Doc.
Eric.
I'm
Eric
here.
wanted...
Who is saying I'm not here? I'm here.
Because Dr. Du mentioned it, and I said there's no harm in asking. So this is Dorcas just asking. Hey, it doesn't hurt.
Okay, Eric was
the last time you said you were to look at those who came first.
Thank you,
I think I came like almost 30 minutes before.
Thank you, Doc. Eric is here.
Yes.
Congratulations, Eric.
For those who joined earlier, can we look at that?
Carol, so like even if you 30 minutes before, like if you stayed on, it would have shown. Like who showed up first today
an hour earlier.
So like that also they didn't show. For some reason, sometimes Zoom will just drop you. For some reason.
I showed up like 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Who showed up early today?
5 hours
early. I was 45 minutes early.
Oh,
I was an hour early.
That was
an hour.
5 hours
early.
On my side, I was about 4 hours early. Immediately I saw you.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's why y'all got dropped.
Okay.
Wow.
Check your system. I joined 5 o'clock.
Eventually, everybody on here is gonna win.
Dr. Are you going to have the conference for 2024?
Yes, that is coming up. Like all the details will be pushed out, right? So
it's gonna be in person.
Yes, so we are going to have, so for everybody, just a little sidebar, we are going to have an in-person conference 2024.
Great.
In person, so everybody is going to see everybody, right? And you know, we are choosing the location. Somebody said Texas. We are still working on the location.
New York,
Texas, Houston.
I got a question, Dr. Du.
Okay.
Japan. The workshop is the same as the hands-on, or it's different?
No, it's different.
What is that something that we have to pay for, or I didn't see the workshop?
Yeah, so for Abdul, I know you are in PCI. PCI internship is different, obviously, from the workshop and internship that we do, right? Like that is pure cybersecurity, 60% GRC workshop internship that we do, right? Now the hands-on takes you through the tools.
I got that.
Use the tool setup, yes. So like that is different from, we don't do that in the workshop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the workshop, we pair you with one of our sister companies, just like the projects that you work on in PCI, you work on similar projects, like general cybersecurity projects, like you are still going to do audits, gap analysis, we're using different frameworks, and then third-party risk management, incident response, and the whole list of others.
Well, could I get involved in something like that?
Yes.
Off topic. To talk to you later on or something. I'll send you a chat.
Yes. We can talk offline.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Please go ahead.
Teresa made us proud.
Sorry, doctor. I know I didn't wait, but it's okay. I was going to call you and ask you some questions privately because I've been trying to register for the program and I'm finding a lot of difficulty in it. So I will try to call you.
Okay. So for everybody else, all the information for the WhatsApp group, everything has been posted in the chat, so you can please go ahead and also look at it. But for next year, the in-person program is coming on. The time and date will be put out, and also the location is what we are torn between, right? We have at least 3 locations that we are looking at. But
is Grand Canyon part of it?
Say that again.
Is the Grand Canyon part of it?
Not in the short
it's
list.
not. Don't stop advertising yourself for Grand Canyon. No.
Dr. Edu, if you choose Maryland, I would sponsor your audiovisuals. I have an audiovisual company.
Maryland too.
Okay, Romeo.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put you down, Romeo. Get with us offline, right? So if you want to bid for your state, you can probably reach us offline.
Yeah, and I'm also one of the winners for room 12 today. So.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, Dr. Edu.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Teresa put in some hard work.
Okay.
So she deserves an award.
Okay. For the internship or tonight?
Internship, she had a job, and
that's good.
So
she worked really hard.
Yeah, for your internship cohort, you are yet to do your graduation, and during the graduation, mostly we will do like awards. So obviously, you can all recommend people that you think really work really hard to help make the group succeed, and we are going to award them accordingly, right?
Okay.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. The PCI version 4, for those of us who went through the class last year, or excuse me, this with 321, do you mention that there's going to be a class in January for 4.0?
Yes, like that will be ending of January. So early February, late January, early February is when we are going to have the big class, the big 4.0 update class for everybody who went through PCI this year.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes. So yes, that we are definitely still going to work. And so PCI is coming up. Guess what? PCI is in the pipeline of coming up with 4.1. Right.
Wow.
So they're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They don't sleep.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep going.
Good luck. Please go ahead. I think did you speak already?
I have a question, Doc. This is Julius.
Yes, go ahead, Julius.
Yeah, so I just wanted to find out for the new business program, cybersecurity business program. Since it sounds like most of the like the processes and everything, is applicable only to the US. So we in Canada, so we can join the program or like somebody in Canada?
No, it is actually applicable outside the US also as well, right? So so if we are talking about like government jobs in the US, that is where it is going to apply to. Even with that, the strategy and how to go about finding these is similar to what you can do elsewhere in Canada and other places, right? Now, if you are doing business to business, then obviously you can apply it anywhere and everywhere.
Okay.
So for folks joining from Canada and the rest, we will do case studies. I think like we had one lady who is from Spain. She wants to take part, but then for her, we're also going to do like a special case study for Spain. And everything that we do, we're going to do the Spain version, right? So research and get like a Spain version. But when it comes to dealing with companies, I think like the principle remains the same. But with the government, because different governments have different ways they do stuff, we are just probably going to take what we know and try to tailor it to what is happening in that country.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Samuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, Doug. I stand to be corrected, Doug, because on the standalone hands-on training, right? On the tools, installation of vulnerability scanning, the Qualys, you did show us how to install the tool Qualys, right? But you didn't elaborate more. I don't know whether it's an oversight because I know how to install the Qualys, but I don't know how to use it. Based on, I don't know whether it's an I stand to be corrected.
No, it is really not an oversight.
Okay.
So we just left it that way.
Okay.
Because we went through Nexus.
Oh, okay.
We're expecting you to be able to apply that, right? And then when you get stuck, you can always reach out. So
okay.
that means you are paying attention.
Yeah.
And I think like Abdul is also paying attention because a lot of people have just gone through and okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I know how to use the Nexus and the
And then
Open
go
VAS.
on. Say that again, please.
I know how to use the Nexus and the Open VAS. You know, Nexus and Open VAS, they're kind of like the same.
So, and Qualys is also.
Well, Qualys is cloud-based, and you can go to Qualys' site to train for that and get a certificate for that. It makes it easy if you go on their website.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and Nexus, they also have like the cloud-based version, but mostly for what we did, like we went through downloading like the version that you're gonna have on your PC.
Right. Okay.
Right. So, like the cloud-based, like Abdul is saying, the Qualys type and the Nexus type are pretty much the same interface.
Same thing. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, all the vulnerability scanning tools, if you know how to use one, you can easily apply it to the other one.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
does it have a free version?
Qualys?
Yeah.
Yes, they do, but I think now you need a work email to be able to sign up.
Okay.
So GoDaddy account. Go to
Even if you don't have an email, you can use
I have a GoDaddy account.
Then you're good.
Yes. So just create an email that has dot something company or something, and you'll be able to.
Okay.
Yes.
Doug, maybe you can use the student email.
Yes. That will work also as well.
Yeah, that will work also.
Like your student email will also work. Right.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Now everything has been posted in there. This chat will be on YouTube, and we're also going to post the recording on there as well. So we appreciate everybody's time.
Last question, Dr. Edu.
Yes, go ahead, Romeo.
Yeah. So the winners for tonight is going to be the cyber business, no?
No, not so. Even with that, we will pick randomly, assign like the courses to like the different winners. So you are not all going to get like the same prize.
Okay. All right.
Dr. Adu,
awesome.
please, I sent you an email some 4 days ago. I actually sent you a direct message just now.
Okay.
If you have time, please just go through it. Sir.
Okay, hold on. Try again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any more questions for the group before we wrap it up for tonight?
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, everyone.
New Year,
I appreciate everybody's time. Now, next year, we are hoping
Happy
for
New Year.
life, great health, and we will all be able to achieve our goals and aspirations as well. Happy New Year to everyone. We appreciate you so much at Eretmis, and we love that you always support and show up to Cyber Chat for us to discuss and learn more and grow as security professionals. Now, if you want, please do send an email to David at Eretmis or service at Eretmis, service at eretmis.com or David at eretmis.com, and we will take care of you, right? For those who won last week, we are still yet to send out the emails for, what you won already. That has been posted. So, but the details for the courses will be sent out in due time, right? Kingsley, was there anything that you?
Yeah, so I know we're running late. You didn't talk about the AI issue again. You skipped that.
Oh, the AI issue. Okay, so please ask your question again. So for everybody on here, if you want to stay and listen to that, you are invited. Go ahead, please. Like your question was about.
The question was, being able to compromise the human aspect of, people, processes, and technology. So my question was, is it not possible for the process to be compromised or through AI?
And how do you foresee that being happening?
Like tricking AI, using AI to trick the system. Like for instance, when it comes to configuration that are not properly set up, or maybe there's a vulnerability in the system that somebody could use AI to trick the system to trigger. For instance, triggering what is not supposed. More like when we talk about denying availability or something.
Okay, so you are speaking to something similar that like a malware would do, right?
Yes.
Okay, it is possible, right? So you can have like a malware that has an AI twist to it, and it is going to do more harm than just a normal malware application, right? So yes, like that possibility is there, but still we always have to go to the basics and make sure we are doing everything right, making sure we are crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's. But it is very possible.
Thank you.
It's very possible. Yes. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend and a blessed new year. And we will meet next year, God willing. 3 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days. And we hit next year. And also, promotion and everything is still going on. If you need any help, please reach out and we will take care of you. Have a great night, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good New Year.
Happy New Year, Dr.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year, all.
Happy New Year.